Get ready. Start. Sir, I beg to move that the bill to give effect to the financial proposals of the central government for the financial year 2011-12 be taken into consideration. Sir, I had in my speech in the House on 24 July 2011 while presenting the budget for 2011-12 explained the main features of the proposals contained in the bill. The explanatory memorandum circulated to the honorable members also contains the details of the specific provisions in the bill. I do not therefore propose to go over the detailed provisions of the bill once again. I feel gratified that the budget has evoked a great deal of interest, and during the debate on the budget in this House, a number of very constructive suggestions were made by the honorable members with regard to some of the proposals contained in the bill. I have also received a large number of representations from members of the public trade unions, voluntary organizations, professional bodies, and chambers of commerce on the proposals in the bill. I express my sincere gratitude to all of them for giving us these valuable suggestions. I would like to assure the honorable members that we have given very careful consideration to all points which have been made with reference to my proposals. I had stated in my budget speech that I propose to make structural changes in our tax system. As the honorable members are aware, the government have since set up a tax reforms committee to look into the entire tax structure. The committee has been directed to submit an interim report within 3 months and the final report by February 28, 2011. While I will come before the House with comprehensive proposals after the reports have been received, I seek the indulgence of the honorable members to put forward proposals for amending some of the provisions in the Finance Bill 2011, taking up the provisions for direct taxes in line with our objective of giving a thrust to exports. I propose to increase the tax incentive for exporters under Section 80 HHC of the Income Tax Act. Profit on sale of exempt scrips will be treated as exports profit in the proportion of the export turnover to the total turnover of the business. Honorable members may be aware that under an existing provision in Section 197A of the Income Tax Act, individuals not having any tax liability can obtain payments without deduction of tax at source by furnishing a declaration in writing in duplicate in the prescribed form. I am directing the Income Tax Department to give wide publicity to this provision and make the requisite forms available at the bank counters. It has been brought to my notice that the proposed requirement of deducting tax at source from winnings from races and payment of commission on sale of lottery tickets would impose an onerous burden on persons responsible for paying these amounts. With a view to mitigating this hardship, I propose to provide for a threshold limit of Rs 2,500 for deducting tax at source from winnings from horse races. Tax will be deducted at source on commission, etc. on sale of lottery tickets only if the payment at any time exceeds Rs 1,000. I also propose to make a clarificatory amendment to Section 32 of the Income Tax Act relating to deduction for depreciation in computing business profits for tax purposes. Under the proposed amendment, no depreciation will be allowed in respect of any plant and machinery the cost of which gets amortized in one or more years under any other provision of the Income Tax Act. The bill contains a proposal to amend Section 273A of the Income Tax Act and Section 18B of the Wealth Tax Act to provide one more opportunity for disclosing unaccounted income and wealth. Honorable members would agree that this facility should not be open-ended. I therefore propose to provide that it will be available only up to 31st March 2012. The bill contains a proposal under which the discretion of the income tax authorities to entertain application for registration of charitable or religious trusts and institutions will be restricted to 3 years from the creation of trust or establishment of the institution. It has been pointed out that this proposal may prove to be harsh, particularly for trusts and institutions in remote areas who might not be fully informed about the intricacies of tax laws and procedures. I therefore propose to provide that a trust or an institution may apply for registration at any time. However, an application made after the expiry of 1 year from the date of its creation or establishment will relate back to the date of such creation or establishment only if the delay beyond the initial 1 year is for valid reasons.